Hey, what's going on, guys? Any Pride here, back with Milk and Cookies Total War. I want to talk about sieges for a second. Now, sieges are something that I haven't done a whole lot of. When I have done them, they're a lot of fun. Like especially when you're attacking a castle. They're just cinematic. They're just cinematic looking. They're a lot of fun to play. But let's just be honest, they don't take a whole lot of skill, and this replay is no exception. There is zero skill involved in this replay. It is all about macro or your army composition. When you're attacking, if you're Follow Samurai, if you want to be real mean, you can bring two Armstrong guns, and everyone in that castle is going to die, and there's nothing they can do about it. By the same token, if you're Shogun and you're attacking a castle, you bring a couple of 200 range bows, and there's not going to be anything they can do about it. And that's exactly what we did. I have a Daikyu Samurai and a Bow Monk. Both of them have 200 range. We're attacking a Follow Samurai castle. They only have line infantry, and all of them have 125 max range. Do the math, 125 range doesn't quite reach 200. So we're just kind of going to shoot them to death for a little bit here. And the only reason we're going to upload this is because the final attack is cinematic. We haven't done any sieges on this channel before, I don't believe. And they're fun to watch at the end, but obviously there is going to be some skirmishing. So if that isn't your cup of tea, well, that's fine. You can click away from this video. I got no problem with that. But there is going to be plenty of skirmishing. Obviously, I've got the two 200 range bows, 50 bomb. My friend has two 200 range bows as well. And really the only kind of harassing tactic that our opponents can do at the beginning is to drop naval bombardments, and they're fairly obvious when they're coming unless you're not paying attention. And of course, at one point in this battle, I was not paying attention, and so I get hit by one. And so we'll try to catch that when it happens. But I really do like sieges. They're a nice change of pace from the normal battles. I mean, obviously playing Follow Samurai in an open battlefield in 2v2s is a lot of fun. I've done that a lot on this channel. Just rushed. I actually have a lot of tactics for dealing with Follow Samurai armies on an open plain, but in sieges, obviously it's very different. There's a pretty standard procedure you want to follow if you're attacking. Even if you're attacking a Shogun castle with a Shogun army, this is a pretty standard procedure. You're going to want to bring some spears, because number one, when I'm defending in a siege battle, I'm going to bring at least one cav unit. In fact, I've played a battle before where I brought a katana cav and my opponents only brought bows and swords, and my katana cav ended up getting 600 kills because he had nothing to stop my katana cav from running in and just killing everything. So never do that. If you're attacking, always bring some sort of spears. As you see, I have 3 Naginata attendants. Very useful. If I want to burn down a tower, I'm going to send those in. They can soak up some fire from line infantry and burn down a tower or the gate so I can get in. A couple of Yarashigaru are good as well, also for meat shields and for the spear wall. If they can get up into the castle and get some space to get into spear wall, that can be pretty good. And then, of course, bring a lot of swords, man. If you're attacking, you have the money to bring veteran swords. So definitely do so if you're on the attacking side, because attackers always have more money. So I've got no dachis, katanas, and a Wako Raider. All high attack, pretty highly veteraned. 50 Bomb has a little bit of a different setup. He actually has a couple of Naginata Warrior Monks. I don't recommend those. They just have low armor, and you're not going to be able to rout anybody inside the keep, so Warcry is kind of a moot point, really kind of useless. And they're just not great for sieges, but I mean, if you want to bring them, whatever, it works. It can work. But his main core is a bunch of Nodachis and a couple katanas, and obviously the 2 bows to skirmish all these line infantry. Now, Squirrel and Sandspan are going to do a pretty decent job, actually, of making us waste our arrows. They're going to do a lot of kiting back and forth from the wall, make us miss a lot of shots, which is what you should do. But really, there's nothing they can do. Like, they're kind of just sitting there, and this is one of the problems that I have with sieges, is that the defender just kind of, in a lot of situations, just sit there and wait to die. And you can't really take the offensive, obviously, because you have less people, and the only advantage you have is having that unbreakable morale and that you can't rout. As soon as you leave that keep, you can rout, and that's when you start losing units for absolutely no reason. looking at their army setups, they have Squirrel brought the heavy line infantry, and he's got some Vermilion Bird Force, some Shogunate Guard infantry that I'm definitely going to target with my bows because I want to get those off the field as soon as possible. He has, yeah, a couple Vermilion Bird Force, a couple Shogunate infantry, and then Sanspan has White Tigers, and then a couple Shogatai and a couple Yarikachi. Now, I was kind of confused about why he brought Yarikachi. I believe that Yarikachi and Katanakachi cost the same. If not, I think there's a 50 koku difference. But in a siege defense like this, I don't recommend bringing Yarikachi. You want the killing power, because when you're up on those walls, killing quickly is what's going to be able to make you rout the opposition. And so bring Katanakachi for pretty much the same price would have been a much better strategy, I think. I do have a Katana Cav, so I mean, I guess from that standpoint, Yarikachi can be good, but he had no idea that I was going to bring cavalry, and considering that most people usually just spam bows in siege battles, really not a great strategy for him to bring those, I don't think. But my bows are just going to have free reign to shoot at him as much as they want, and there's just not going to be a whole lot he can do about it, honestly. And really, this was a kind of embarrassing mistake. At this point in the battle, there was only one thing that I really had to worry about, and it was a naval bombardment, and it's going to come in about right now and just absolutely wreak havoc on my lines. I think I lose about 80 to 100 men among my sword units, the ones that matter in this battle. And really, I should have been paying attention to it because it was the only thing that they could do. Their guns were not in range to shoot me, so I should have known that a naval bombardment would be coming in soon, considering that they're both follow samurai leader generals, but lost a lot of men in that. Should have done a better job, but I pulled back, and it's not going to be an issue anymore because I'm going to keep my eye out for it. Whittling down their line infantry, one shogunate infantry is already down to 55 men, and lots of their line infantry is going to be dead before we decide to engage. So actually what we're going to do here is we're going to cut away, because there's tons of skirmishing that you guys probably don't want to see, and we're going to cut to the final engagement when we decide to attack. So I'm going to pause it right now, and I will see you when this replay restarts. So after a long old skirmish where our opponents had absolutely no chance of doing anything, we have finally decided to engage, and we are sending all of our troops in now en masse. We're going to try to burn down the gates, obviously with any attendance we can, and 50 bomb side, the gates are already starting to burn down, and he's going to send some of his troops up there and then the rest up the walls. And over on my side, my Yareshigaru and Naginata attendants are going to do the same thing, and we are going to completely surround them and attack from as many angles as possible while in the face of withering gunfire from White Tiger Force, which are terrible. But again, running into guns, running up walls is not great because you will take plenty of casualties, which is why we burned down the gate so we can kind of flank around and get into the castle from as many angles as possible. But sending all of our troops in now, and really the biggest reason I want to tear down that gate is so my Katana Cav can get in the mix, because if they get in those sword units, they're going to wreak a lot of havoc and do a lot of damage. So all the gates are burning now. Most of them will be down in a couple of seconds, and our troops will start getting in there. I have no doubt she's climbing the walls. 50 Bomb has already mostly climbed the walls on his side, and he is engaging. And my swords are beginning to climb as well. And I also have my Yareshigaru in a really good spot to soak up a lot of fire, because if he's auto-firing, which he is at the moment, and not clicking attack orders, he's going to be shooting my Yareshigaru, which is exactly what he was doing. He finally switched targets to my Katana Samurai, but as soon as they climb those walls, they're going to shred that line unit. Over on 50 Bombs, there's a Shogatai from Squirrel in the middle of the fight, and a bunch of Red's troops. They're completely surrounded, though, by superior infantry. They're going to have a hard time lasting in that fight. And I'm sending my guys through the burning gate, through the fire. I don't know what man in his right mind would ever go through a wall of fire like that, but I have brave Katana Samurai, so they're going to go into the fight now. And the entire castle is burning, and they are entirely surrounded. Not much they can do at this point, except fight to the last man. Sending my katana cav up there now because I really want to get those guys into the fight. Really, I strongly recommend if you're ever defending in a siege battle and you're a Shogun army, that you bring at least one katana cav unit. I've played enough sieges now where my opponents never brought any spears that if you can send them out, you can pretty much just wreak havoc on an enemy's lines without them being able to do anything about it. And it's a lot of fun to kill a ton of bows with a katana cav and have your opponent have no say in the matter. We're just cutting through them in a meat grinder now. There's really nothing they can do. Katana cav finally into the mix against some Shogatai. The generals are fighting to the last man, and Red's guys are just completely surrounded by 50 bomb. And if I was a nice guy, I would have stopped shooting with my bows at this point, but seeing 50 bombs men die to my bows is kind of hilarious, so I'm going to keep shooting. And there's going to be a lot of friendly fire, but hey, that's what happens in feudal Japan. Really though, if you want to have a fun and have a nice break from the normal Shogun battles you do, sieges are a nice way to go. If you want to show off your skill or win a battle because of tactics, this is not the thing for you. Because if you're attacking, you should probably win. If you spam swords, you should probably win. And we're just cleaning up the last few guys that they have left. They're all fighting to the death at this point. Oh my god, that hurt. I don't think Madness got it, but some guy just got shot in the dick with an arrow. That was wow, that was painful to watch. Oh my god. I finally stopped shooting with my bows because I guess I didn't want to shoot any more people in the dick. That's kind of mean. Really though, Flawless Samurai just doesn't have any chance against Shogun if they're defending. It's just not fair at all. As you saw, they had no response to my bows. And really the only thing I could think of is if they brought a lot of cav. But obviously I brought Yareshgar to prevent that kind of thing from happening. And there's nothing they can do about it. They only got a few men left now. Sending my katana cav into the mix. Get a couple more kills, and this battle will be over. No real point in looking at the stats in this one, honestly. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry I struggled a little bit during that commentary because there wasn't much to say. But thought we'd change it up a little bit, bring you a siege battle every once in a while. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.